Hey everyone, so for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to put on a brief without taking off the person's pants or shoes. Now, the person that I'll be demonstrating on does not have their shoes on, but you can do this with the person's shoes on, okay? It's just important to be mindful about the brief not touching the shoes. If you have a hard time doing that, one thing that you can do is use a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag over their shoe temporarily while you put the brief on, if they don't have like an auditory sensitivity to the sound of plastic, okay? Now, one thing that I will note is that if you are taking a brief fresh out of its packaging, you want to make sure that you are opening up that brief and stretching it out a little bit. Just be careful that you don't pop the perforated seam, but you want to make sure that you are stretching it out a little bit because it's usually been compressed in its packaging. And so for the most comfortable fit, you want to make sure that you're stretching it out first before you put it on the person, okay? Another thing is make sure that you are explaining to the person what you are about to do before you do it, okay? And always verbal cues before tactile cues, especially if your person is pretty sensitive to touch, okay? But both of them can be helpful as far as cueing goes. Okay, so let's get into the demonstration.
So this can be done with pants. You just want to make sure that they are stretchy. So method number one is to go inside the pants. Then you'll take one side of the brief, thread it through the pant leg, and then you're going to stick their foot through the hole of the brief. And then you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side, taking the other side of the brief, threading it through the pant leg, and then putting their foot through the brief. Then you want to pull it up and straighten it out, and you're good to go. The second method is to start outside the pant leg. You thread their foot through first, and then you pull the brief through the pant leg. And you want to make sure that you pull it all the way through, which can be a little bit challenging if they have larger or bulkier briefs or tight pants. And then you're going to take the other side of the brief and thread it through the inside of the pant leg, and then put their foot through the brief hole. Once that's finished, you're going to go ahead and pull it up, straighten it out, and you're good to go. If you are able to kneel, that is typically preferred over bending from a standing position, but you may want to put a towel down to protect your knees. If you see your partner is uncomfortable having their privates exposed, you can add a towel to their lap and ask them to hold on to it.
Now with the towel, one thing that I wanted to say is that you may want to introduce the towel early, especially if your person feels some kind of way about you seeing their private area. So for example, when the person is standing, when you guys first come into the bathroom, one thing that you can have them do is hold onto the towel first while you take off their pants and their brief, okay? So they'll be holding onto it first. And then if they let you, you can then hold on to it while they then sit down. That way they're always covered, okay? Because sometimes it can be really hard for the person to be holding on to it and then feel safe about sitting down. Do you get what I'm saying? But if they're holding it temporarily and then you say, okay, I'll hold it for you now, go ahead and have a seat, then you'll be holding it and then they can have a seat. Does that make sense? But I do hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions at all, please just let me know. You can leave a comment in the request box or you can send us an email at care@letsbambu.com.